Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Nicolas. You hit the nail on so many points there. What we're going to do now, we're going to transition into the Q&A. So everyone maintain, in that mindset, in that brain space of everything that Dr. Nicolas just said, and also everything that Jasmin just said, so that we can continue this conversation. The floor is open. It's open for people who have any follow-up questions. I have a bunch of questions. I hope that the audience also has questions. Again, please feel free to ask and speak in the language in which you are most comfortable with. This is a safe space. We want everyone to express themselves and to be comfortable expressing themselves in the way they wish to express themselves. As we transition into the Q&A, Christian, can you please spotlight? Okay, voila. Naed, thank you. We're going to also launch a poll right now. We have one simple question. We want to get a take from the audience, your initial thoughts. You have a few minutes to fill in that poll, and we're going to go into the Q&A and then review the results of this poll towards the end of the session of the Q&A. Okay, does everyone see the poll has been activated? We're talking about systemic transformation today, and what's important is, for this transformation to happen, how do we choose to be involved? As humans, as people that are professionals, as working as family members, as head of households, we're juggling so many things. So we also need to be very realistic about how we choose to be involved. Because if we want to support systemic transformation, you got to be honest with yourself, what you can and cannot commit to. So the poll is shaped to have a better understanding of where this audience sits on what they can realistically commit to or would be interested in committing to in the near future. So please take your time. We see some people are filling it out. Thank you so much. Please continue to do so. All right. So Naed, Madame, who spoke about the Soleil Levé scenario, my very first question is for you. And as people have questions, also feel free to write your question in the chat, and we will open the floor for you to say it verbally afterwards, or I can read it for you. Also raise your hand if you want to ask your question verbally. Okay, so Naed, my very first question for you. So you spoke about the Soleil Levé scenario, which is, this possible future for Haiti where there's a collective leadership that emerges, where all citizens, become active citizens. The passiveness, we leave it behind, and people start contributing in ways that they can contribute for their community. So looking at the Soleil Levé scenario, which calls out for more active citizen participation, and it's not limited to citizens in Haiti, but an inclusive way. Haitians all over the world, as Dr. Guerda very nicely put it, we're united in legacy. So Soleil Levé is the vision. It's the basis for the vision. And there are other activities and work to go from the vision to concrete step. And having a national plan that everyone can go through. I mean, we have histories of having national plans in this country. Chargé d'un tiroir dans chaque ministère, so could you talk to us a bit more about the efforts that Carrefour l'Espoir, the ecosystem, are doing right now? Because the importance of a plan is kind of like a roadmap. Could you share some of that information with the group today, please?
Okay, so we've talked about like you said, like Soleil Levé, which is like the vision, but the vision itself will need like some specific steps in order, to be implemented. So this is an inspiration, and we wanted that vision, we wanted more, like the maximum of people, to appropriate like this vision so they can see themselves in it. So the next step, since Carrefour l'Espoir is continuing, to work with diverse groups, sometimes in less people, more sectors related, and we have come like to the realization that we also need to have like a development plan for Haiti. And we know that we have done a lot before, but even though right now with this situation, we think that we should take into account what was done before and, adjust it to like the new reality that we're having right now. So there have been some work towards that. There's like a firm that is working actually in putting in place this development plan for Haiti. And I would say that there's like some reason why we need this development plan. So first of all, because we do need like this shared vision. So we want to ensure of Haitian, but all Haitians, and that everyone is committed, to work towards like the same goals. So this firm that is working right now is tapping into all of those ecosystems to have their comments to work with everybody in order to create like this appropriate this share vision. The second thing is like collaboration. So when we start collaborating, it needs to be maintained. So we will be continuing working together with the government, with the...
Is it just me that lost her?
No, we all did, yeah.
Mais c'est pas seulement Haïti non qui a un problème internet.
Okay, on nous change the narrative, sir. Okay, let's change that narrative because she's not. Okay, Miami, that's Miami internet.
That's Miami.
Mhm.
That's Miami. Okay. Well, hopefully her connection comes back stronger. What she's saying is very important in terms of the National Socioeconomic Development Plan that's in work that not a lot of people are aware of.
civil society.
Oh, no. Looks like it actually disconnected this time. Okay. Naed,
Yeah.
to
Oh my God, that's very bad today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what's going on. So I was giving, I think, why it was
your second
important
point.
to co-create a development plans for Haiti. And my 3 points was first of all, because we need like the share vision.
Okay, turns out, thank you, Melinda, for putting the comment in the chat. So there are thunderstorms in Miami. So that's probably why the connection is giving her issues. For everyone that's in Miami, I hope you stay safe and dry. In the meantime, perhaps we can move on to another question. It is Saturday morning. We don't want to abuse everyone's time, and we want to get to the meat, to the core of things. So Dr. Nicolas, I'm going to ask you a hot question, and everyone in the audience, please remember, this is an open Q&A. Feel free to raise your hand if you have a question to ask, or write it in the group chat. So Dr.
Maybe I should go on my phone.
Okay, you can do that as you wish, madam, as you wish. Okay, so Naed was talking about the Soleil Levé scenario, the new vision, and then the roadmap needed to get us there. And it's great to have a plan. It's great to have a vision, but it's when you get into the nitty and the structuring. This is where a lot of clashes tend to happen. And this is where it's so important to structure it properly so that when people come together for this collaboration in the name of Haiti, that the nation can benefit from it. So Dr. Nicolas, you being an expert in this field, not only through your research, but you're being out in the field for over 30 years, doing that consistent work to get it done. My question to you is, what are some of the elements that need to be part of this system to prevent clashes from happening, clashes of our people being very culturally diverse and having diverse value systems and belief systems? What can we put in place? What is important that we have in place to prevent clashes?
Thank you. You scared me. I was like, oh, she's not coming. She's coming for me this morning. She's like, I very difficult. I was like, oh, okay, Regine, I haven't even had small. Yeah, you're gonna come after me like this. So I think that like preventing fight, like here's what I've seen that happen. People have a great idea. We have so many plans. Actually, if we actually could create a museum for them, we would need floors for the plan because we have so many plans that comes in. And part of the reason is because as soon as somebody has an idea, they're like, oh, I'm going to go do it. Let's start putting it together, right? And so forth. That we don't take the time to actually research. We don't take the time to actually go read. We don't take the time to actually understand things before we actually go and do it. We're like, great idea. My heart is in it. I have all the energy. I'm going to pull together some people who can come and join me with it, right? So that's number one, that we haven't really done the work, the research to say, oh, we're going to I would love to connect the global nation to, in a way, Oh, nobody looked to see there's a thing called replenishment 509 already. That's already doing that particular work. So maybe what I need to do is to actually reach out to that person to do that collaboration work, right? And so forth. So that research is important. And then the second thing is I actually have to let go of the fact that it was my idea. It's my baby. If not your baby, if it's about sustainable development of a society, because it's not yours anymore. That you're not doing something for you, you're doing something that is nation building. And if it's nation building, I should be willing to let it go because my logo is not there, right? In the same way. So I think there's that piece in terms of preventing the grind. The third thing I'll say, is that we're not very good at taking time to deal with process because we are in a state of crisis. We are in a country that is in need of us all the time, immediately. So we're very quick to say, let's get something done, and we miss the step of the process, good process, thinking, reflecting, right, and so forth, listening to each other and so forth, as opposed to, here's the idea, let's go execute. And then we do a SWOT analysis after to see, okay, what could we have learned from that? But we didn't take the time to really to spend the time to really do some of that. The last thing I'll say is that Numa Labo, we are mentally not okay.
Snaps.
No, we look good, we smell good, we show up doing good, we show up doing everything, but we're not mentally okay. So because I'm not mentally okay, I show up at a meeting and Regine has an idea and I'm going at Regine with that idea and because we're fighting over like which one, because I wasn't there to begin with. Mentally, I wasn't prepared mentally to begin with. So even though I may have had an awful day and so forth, I still show up to that meeting versus saying, you know what? I think I need a little bit of time for myself. And let me not show up at this place this angry with this level of energy and right, and so forth, because I need to take time to take care of my spirit, of myself, of my body, right, and so forth. So a lot of the clashes that we see is because we haven't taken the time to know me, love me, take care of me, right, and so forth. And when I'm in a good place, if I have fed myself, I've had a good breakfast, I've slept well, and I'm feeling pretty good, right? I've done these things, I show up in places differently. And when there is disagreement around things, I'm not in a fight with you because I'm in a good place about certain things. You see it? So these are the kinds of things, this process of like working on oneself that we also don't take the time to do, right? And so therefore then any little thing, I have a fight with somebody because your logo was in a particular place or I misspelled your name. And so like, why am I fighting with you over that? It's like, that could be easily being something that is a mistake. I can come with grace. I can come with empathy. I can come that way because I'm in a good place. So it doesn't bother me in the same way. So we have to take the time to do the work on ourselves and recognize that I'm como psicólogo. I've been a psychologist for 35 years. I show up regularly to tell people I'm not okay. You know how we see people, we're like, how are you? And then we're like, I'm good. And you know you're not good. You know you're not good. Your kids know you're not good. Everybody knows you're not good, but you're saying you're good. But which is a lie because now that talks about your character. So how do we show up and somebody says, Stacy, how are you? Stacy's like, bah bon non, bah dormir bien, bah bien manger. I don't have good sex. You know what I mean? We mean like be honest with each other, like in terms of that.
We gotta be real.
That's the part, Regine. If we want to do this and we want to have like to be okay with each other and develop good relationship and collaboration, that we're going to actually do that work on ourselves that allow us to show up with each other in a very, very different way. We talk about sex as if like it's something we never really have, no? And
merci.
Okay. As people who are showing up in a thing, you're telling me that we shouldn't be able to have conversations about whether you're having good sex because you shouldn't be having bad sex. You say like that should be a part of your well-being package.
It is. It's important.
So if you're in that good place, I'm telling you right now, if you take the time, vision literally, even if you're in a meeting, sometimes you can be in a meeting and things are not going well and you feel all kinds of way. If you say, I'm going to get up from this meeting, I'm going to walk around the building, I'm going to go to the bathroom, I'm going to take some time away from this meeting to get my head straight, and I'm going to come back to it, you'll see how different you are. And it's literally something that's going to take less than 5 minutes for you to do. You're going to miss anything to get yourself together as opposed to staying in the meeting where it's aggravating until the point where you're actually ready to explode, right? But to do that, you need to know yourself. You need to recognize that something is happening to you when you're sitting in that meeting and why you're getting frustrated and so forth. So I have to sit in spaces and say, why am I frustrated? I went to a meeting, and I promise I'll stop. I went to a meeting in Gangwab, in the sixth community of Gangwab, when I first started doing this work like 20 years ago. And I get there and I'm frustrated at this meeting. Like when I say frustrated, I'm frustrated at this meeting. And there's so many people there and they're discussing and so forth, but I'm frustrated. And then I have to ask myself, Guerda, why are you frustrated? I'm like, what the agenda? Where is the agenda for this meeting? That what's coming this time? I was like, where is this agenda? And then I have to ask myself, where did you learn that meetings only run with an agenda? The moment I stop myself there, I realized that the meeting had an agenda, that it actually was running relatively smoothly. The frustration was with me. It wasn't with the people. The people had this well run and knew exactly what was happening. But it's that process of stopping, knowing yourself, and the unlearning vision that we need to do with ourselves. Unlearning that we need to do with ourselves, about you, and about who we are, because we come from a place mentally where it was designed, Regine, for me never to trust you. Because if I trust you as another Black person, then maybe we will actually come together as a collective, and our colonizers did not want that. This is why for me to go to Jamaica, I need to get in a plane to go to Miami, in order for me to Jamaica versus me going to Jamaica that's right around the corner. Because we were never going to be able to do so. So I think it's important that we do this particular work.
Thank you. You hit so many gems there. We've captured quite a few of your gems. Thank you. So if we can summarize what this first panel was about. There is work on the ground that has been going on for over 3 years to collectively create a vision. We call it Soleil Levé. Carrefour L'Espoir has done that groundwork. It took them 2 years to identify the right group of leaders to be committed to a transformative scenario planning process where that vision for possible futures of Haiti can be co-created and take in the insights and the considerations of the economic, political, and civil society sectors. So Soleil Levé, li define, li la, vision la. Kounya la, the next step is the socioeconomic development plan, which is reviewing all the previous plans, reviewing that work and coming up with an updated version of the plan. Now that the plan is summarized, it means nothing if communities, if we ourselves as citizens who have a vested interest in our country becoming stronger, we need to participate in the process of reviewing those plans, understanding those plans, and making sure it's applicable to our communities, that it's relevant to our communities, that it's something that we actually want. So in this process, which, for example, a social laboratory methodology is key for enabling communities throughout the country and throughout the globe to be involved, that process can be established. But within that process, taking in what Dr. Guerda Nicolas just said, we have to have a space where we can rebuild our mental health, because our people have suffered through not just years, not even just decades, but centuries of trauma, which we've suppressed a lot. And it comes out and it shows up at the wrong moments at the wrong time. So it's extremely important for within that process that we have that space, that moment where we can work through those things so that when we're talking nation building, we can actually talk nation building and not the frustrations that have been preventing us from building our own nation. Thank you, ladies. That was such an interesting panel. Thank you so much for bringing to the table, for bringing to the space your years of experience. We encourage you to continue moving forward with the good work that you're doing. And hopefully within this community that we're building within Replenish 509, we can reinforce the good work that you're doing and provide additional spaces for collaboration. So thank you, Dr. Nicolas. Thank you, Met Jasmin, for being with us today. Do not disconnect, but we're going to switch on over to our second panel.